Deanne Love here, and in this tutorial I am going to share with you a move that I don't know the name. It could be called coin flip breaks, or it could be called smear pulses, or it could be called orbit breaks. Let's call it orbit breaks, because this is what I call an orbit. It is also referred to as a smear, and it's when the hoop is at the front, side, back, side, and you're swirling, smearing, orbiting the hoop around your body in this 360 3D kind of effect. And a break is when you stop the direction of the hoop and send it in the opposite direction. Now, there is an awesome tutorial by the amazing Emma Kenner that is called coin flip breaks or reversals, I think. Check it out. And she goes from behind the back and brings it around the body, and then she does these really cool kind of breaks right here. Well, we are going to do the breaks similar to that, but coming from this orbiting move. So let's break it down. As with every move, there are variations, but let's go step by step. So I am using a 90 centimeter Polypro. You can use any hoop size you like, but the smaller your hoop, the more you may need to kind of get inside it, but it is not impossible, any size that is good for you. So I am going to be orbiting around my body, and I'm going to take note of the next time my right hand comes in front of my head or above my forehead, because at that point there, I can let go with my bottom hand, which is my left hand. You might be going the opposite way, and that is going to be doing the kind of pulsing or breaking. And for this, what I'm going to do is keep the hoop on my hand with my palm facing towards the ceiling, and then rest the bottom of my hoop against my opposite hip. So if your right hand is up, it's going to be on your left hip. If your left hand is up, it's going to be on your right hip. And then, just to get used to this move, I'm going to take my left hand and put it inside and kind of down, fingers towards the floor, and just bounce the hoop on my hip. Now, you might like to move with it. I always like to groove with it a little. Just bounce the hoop forwards and backwards. And I'm not trying to like bash it into the front and smash it into the back, because if I do that, I'm going to push it off my top hand. Now, there are a few variations for this top hand. Some people put the hoop on their wrist. Some people put it on their hand. Some people put it on the top of their hand. You get to play around with that. That is the beauty of variations. But for me, I'm going to have my hands on the inside, thumbs down. I'm going to roll the hoop around to my left. Check it out. Left side, left side. The next time my right hand is facing up, my left arm can come out, and I can just bounce the hoop forwards and backwards. Now, I am kind of adjusting this top hand just so that it doesn't slide off. Sometimes I need to kind of hook it with my thumb just to make sure that it stays in place. Now, a few things that you can do is you can just kind of bounce it at the back. So it just rolls over the back of your hips here and just bounce it back and forwards. And it's really gentle. So it's just really little here. Or you can make it come to the front and to the back. And to do that, I'm kind of sweeping my arm forwards and backwards. You can do just one break or one bounce. So orbiting around, right hand is up, left hand comes out, and then I grab the hoop and go back into the orbit. Or you might like to do it in the opposite direction. So now when my left hand is up, my right hand does the breaking or the bouncing. And in the beginning, you might find that this top hand is kind of holding on, but eventually you want to get a little bit more intuitive with it and just lightly let the hoop rest on the hand rather than trying to maneuver it that way. And then you'll have this resting point at the top and then this bouncing point on the side. And it can take a little bit of getting used to. That's okay. So when the right hand is up, the left hand is doing the bounce, doing the work. You can put some hip action into it. And when the left hand is up, the right hand is doing those little breaks. And they can be little in the beginning, and then you can kind of get a little bit more extreme with them. Okay, let's move on to another variation once you feel like that is okay for you. So you can start to move those breaks or take those breaks a little bit more forcefully. But this does not mean that you're trying to bat or push the hoop too far away, because remember, it's resting on this top hand. But what you can do is a full rotation. So as you break the hoop, you're going to push it back and really open up this top palm as if you're doing a palm spin and let the hoop do a full rotation or pretty much a full circle around the body. So orbiting around, right hand is at the sky or left hand if that's the way that you want to go. You're going to push the hoop back and just push it against your body so that it can come all the way back around. Then you're like, oh, got it in the gap. From there, you could go back into the orbit. So that variation is a full 360 break. Sometimes I have to turn my body into it if I'm like in flow and it doesn't quite make it. Rather than like stopping and thinking like I messed up the trick, then I'm going to turn into the circle. So I'm bouncing, breaking here, and then I give it a push. Whoop, and then I'm back in. So you can mess around with that. And really, I'm trying to kind of just cradle the hoop, just find that resting, balancing point right there, wherever is the best for you. And sometimes you might want to twist your wrist, but the things that you don't want to do is stick your elbow out too far because the hoop is going to hit it as it's coming around. And you also want to try not to like make too much movement there because you want to keep the hoop kind of in that same spot. So if you're pushing this top arm up and down and letting it drop and pop out, then that's going to be a totally different move. So, all right, so that is that full 360 break, orbit break. Now let's see if we can do my favorite thing and go full 360 where we do a turn as well. So same kind of leading in transition. When the right hand is up or the left hand, definitely try this on both sides. You can go into your little bounces here, that first variation, and then when it feels right for you, I'm going to bounce the hoop back with this left hand, and then I'm going to turn to my right. And if all goes well, then I'm back in this first position with my right hand up and my left hand in the hoop. So bouncing here, and then I'm going to push back with my left, turn to my right, and in momentum with that turn, usually you can get your hoop to go around to do one 360, and then you can do a full 360 or 180 if you want to, if that's something that you want to play with. So there you have 3 variations of those orbit breaks. You can do it just popping it one side and then the other, or you can push your hoop all the way around and definitely play with the pace and the intensity of your push so that you're not pushing the hoop off. And then you can also do it turning around. And as always, if you can just pop it into your flow after you've done some drills, you're going to be starting to feel a little bit more smooth with it. All right, so let me know how you go in the comments below. Let me know if you have any things that are kind of not working for you. It can be kind of a sensitive move, and you might feel like it's like hitting parts of your body and you can't quite get the hoop to go in the place that you want, or you're pushing it in the wrong direction. So let me know what's going on in those comments and I will get back to you. But I would definitely say play with your pace. Stand in front of a mirror if you can. Video yourself if you can, just to watch what's happening. You might want to even close your eyes to see like what body parts the hoop is hitting or not hitting. But as always, have fun with it. Make up your own style. Just really rock into it. And big hoop love from me to you. Mwah.